Hello and welcome to Introduction to Excel Part 2. So today we are going to see how we can do a simple training budget, a workshop, a training in a setup of a workshop whereby participants or attendees are coming to spend in a hotel for a five-day training. So to start with, we need to understand and know what we need for a training to take place. One, you know that for you to bring participants from their home areas to the venue, that you'll have to incur transport, and then the venue of the training, you'll have to pay for the accommodation and for their conference. And then you will also need to consult and engage a trainer who will come and train. So you will also incur training cost. You might also incur stationery cost. These are writing materials, flip chart, marker pens, sticky notes, and some other materials depending on what kind of training you are going to do. So let's start. So first of all, how I usually do it myself, I start by labeling my budget. Let's say XYZ Limited. This is maybe say training on maybe human rights defenders. Then maybe we write here venue. We just give it any hotel of your choice. So in my case, I can give it like let's just say ABC Hotel, for reasons of copyright or issues of using people's name without their permissions. So for the dates, we can say maybe from today is on 7th of February. So if we consider doing our workshop starting from next week on Monday, we will do it on starting from the Monday will be on 12th. So we can say maybe from 12th to 16th. That will be exactly 5 days. So we say here 12th to 15 or 16 to 16, to 16 February 2024. Now, something else you should note is that for you to conduct a full 5 days training, your participants will be required to come on 1 day before the start of the training, and then they'll have to leave either on the afternoon of the 15th, the last day, or they'll have, if you intend to do the workshop on 15th up to the end of the day, that's full day, then your participants will have to leave on an extra day. So in this case, our participants will arrive on 11th, and then they leave on 16th in the morning. Now let's start. So in this case, we said that we will pay them participants transport, and then we'll pay for their accommodation. In this case, we will consider dinner, bed, and breakfast. And then you'll also have to cater for their conference package. Most hotels, when you say conference package, it means 10 o'clock tea, 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock tea, lunch and water. They'll give you water in the morning, water in the afternoon, and writing materials and some sweets. There are hotels that give sweets. So that's what the entire conference package will entail. For those of you who are still trying to learn to familiarize yourself with Excel, from here you can see our column B was smaller and it was not fitting the writings that you've written here. So for you to expand it, you come above B, you will see a plus sign at the end of the line for B, and then you drag it to where you want it to be. Now, since the conference package is a bit longer than you would expect, you come here above here. You see here that it's written ABC. When you maneuver your cursor on it, it says wrap text. So what it does, it wraps extra long text into multiple lines so that you can see all of it. So in this case, let's click on wrap text, and as you can see, it has wrapped our text within the same cell that you want to use. The other cost that we said was the training cost. For this training cost, you'll consider paying him or her the training fee, and maybe their travel cost. You can combine it, or you can split it and put it as a separate cost. But in this case, let's lump sum the figure as one. Then below here, we are going to say stationaries. Okay, so my style of doing budgets is this. You see here at row 7, there is a huge black arrow facing to my right. So you click on that, and then I'll click insert. That is when I want to add more rows. Alternatively, you still click on row 7, then you right click on it, and then you come below on the insert button, and it inserts for you an extra row. So for this case, we are going to label our columns. So this one, we are going to call it item description. Then the next column, I'll call it units, and then the next one, I'll call it unit definition, and then I'll say duration. Duration is the period of how long your workshop or your meeting or your forum will take. And then we also define definition. We define what duration means. Your duration stands for what, or represents what. By this I mean, maybe you might say 2 days, 2 months, 1 day, half day. That's what I mean by duration definition. And as we've said, when a sentence is longer than your intended cell, you wrap the text, which is going to wrap here. Then you can drag a bit so that it fits within the line. And then here we are going to say unit cost, and then at the end we are going to say total cost. To start with, let's start with in this sample budget, I'll start with one currency budget, whereby you are just preparing the budget in your own country's currency. So in this case, I can use Kenya shillings, and then the total also I'll also define it in Kenya shillings. So that's it. You also wrap there. So in this case, let's say we are planning a training for 30 people. So in this case, our participants will be 30. Unit definition, this will be, you can say people, you can say parks, you can say there's people, there's parks, or persons. And then duration, for transport, since you're saying the participants are coming to be accommodated at the hotel, this means you're going to pay them transport on 11th when they are arriving, and then on 16th when they are leaving. So in this case, we usually call it 1. Then we define it as a return trip. That is when coming and then when returning. So in this case, we can say maybe per person, this is just a sample budget, so we can say per person is 5,000. And then here at the total at the end, this is where budgeting now becomes an issue, because this is where you come now to insert formulas. So in this case, the simplest way to do this is to say is equals to. You find the is equal sign on your laptop or desktop or keyboard, and then you click cell number C9, that's the number of people, and then you click times sign, multiply by the number of days you're going to pay, and then you also multiply by the amount of money you're going to pay per person. Then you say enter. Now, the goodness and the benefit of using an Excel, you are able to duplicate your formula in the other cells or rows, rather than you keep on repeating it. So in this case, we are going to duplicate our formula under column H for all the item lines that we have. So you come to the total cost, cell number H9, as you can see. Then at the corner you'll see a black plus sign. You click on it and then you drag below until to the end where you want it to be, and it has copied your formula. Alternatively, maybe that one we can do another time. So now accommodation, we've said we will also accommodate 30 people, so we'll still say 30 people. And then now for accommodation, we've said your participants are coming on 11th, they'll be leaving on 16th in the morning. So that means they'll be spending in the hotel on 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th night. Those are 5 nights. So you put here 5. Defining what 5 is, we say 5 nights. And then maybe accommodation, we can say maybe 7,000. And as you can see under the column H for the total cost, now that we drag the formula below, the formula has already picked the figure. Then we go to the conference package, we say 30 people. For the conference package, the participants have arrived on 11th, so the training will start on 12th. So the entire training will be conducted on 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. That is 4 nights. Oh, sorry, our training was supposed to be going up to 16th, which was on Friday. Sorry for that. So our participants will be leaving on 17th. That means for accommodation it will be 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. So accommodation is okay. So for conference, it should be 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. That is 5 nights. So let's go back to accommodation again. 11th, 12th, 13, 14, 15, and 16th night, because now they'll be leaving on Saturday morning. So for accommodation, it will be 6 nights. So for conference package, we are going to define it as 5 days. And then unit, we are going to say 3,000. And as you can see, the formula is automatically picking the values. Because let's use training. When you see to stationary total, when you double click on it, it is showing you that it has multiplied cell C13, which defines the unit, cell E13, which defines the duration, and cell G13, which is underscoring the unit price. So when we come now and input the figures, the formula will automatically calculate itself at the end. Now, our trainer, let's say since it's a 5-day training, one person will get so tired to do a training for 5 days alone. So let's say we have like 3 trainers. So we say 3 people. They'll be training for 5 days. And then we'll pay them maybe per day. Let's say we are paying them 20,000 shillings. Now, something I forgot to mention. The participants that you want to be trained are 30. We've now brought in 3 trainers. So that means in total the participants are 33. So we have to change accommodation to be 33. We have to change conference to be 33. But now for the transport, it will still remain as 30 because under the budget line for training cost, we've included their fee and their transport. So we will not have to add them again there on top under the transport. But if you, under the training cost, you only include the fee, that means you've not considered their transport. You will have to include them now under participants' transport to be 33. I hope up to there we are okay. I hope I'm not going too fast. Okay. Now under stationaries, most of the time we consider them to be a package. So in this case we'll say one package, because when you're buying them, you don't buy them one item at a time. You go in a bookshop or in a store and you buy everything at once. So we call it one package. And then it will be for one event, because you will not be buying stationaries every day. And then we can say maybe like 20,000 shillings. So it also automatically inputs the formula at the end. You can see our figures are in 1,000, but we don't have a separator to show that this is 1,000 or this is not 1,000. So what we usually do under Excel, you highlight column G and H, and then on top of your button, or you can just right click on it, the simpler one. Then we say format cells. Under format cells, you go to number, and the number here below you can see use 1,000 separator, which is a comma, and then here you're saying decimal places to be 2. So in our case, we can do away with decimal places because Kenya shilling has no extra digit as the decimals. So that's the case. As you can see now, it has changed. Now we come here below now to show what will be the total budget now for our training. We come here and say total budget, and then at the end of the total budget, you identify a cell. For example, now in our case H15, and then you go to, on top of your home page at the end, there is this, when you click on it, it's saying auto sum, average, count, maximum, minimum. So this is where you get functions. So in our case, we want the sum. So you click on the sum, and as you can see, when I click on the sum, it's bringing in a dialog box to define to you what that sum means, and it says that it will automatically add it up. Your total will appear after the selected cell. So in this case, we click sum, and as you can see, it has highlighted our cells exactly where we want them to be. That is column H, row number 9, up to column H, row number 13. In our case, we want 13, so we can edit here because the last budget line is under column H, row 13. So when you click that, you get your total budget there. To make your budget look a bit neater, you highlight this part, and then here on top here, when you click here, there are options of how you want your borders to be. So in our case, I'll select all borders, and there you are, people. I hope you've gotten something. See you soon. If you have any question, if I was too fast, you can ask me, and I will be able to answer your questions in the comment section.